lead off a little later. All right, everybody. Multiple marches that are going on today. Multiple marches. And then additionally, there is some people that are preparing for a march tomorrow.
No KKK, no fascist USA! Death to the Klan, death to Trump! Death to Nazi fascist stuff! Death to the Klan, death to Trump!
The group started like okay, we're marching. So thanks so much. That would have been a nightmare.
Shield to the front!
Shield to the front!
Hey, so there was shields left over there.
Black Lives Matter!
There's actually a couple of people.
Black Lives Matter! Black Lives
Still setting things up.
Black Lives Matter!
It will fall to the cause, so to speak. If you go to the description on the feed, there is a list of causes you can support activists and other organizations. And again,
Total abolition! No cost! No prison! Total abolition! No cost! No prison!
so I think right now what I'm planning is just doing this little pause, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it. You guys are saying you can't see. Are you kidding me? Here, 1 second. Check. Can you hear me now? You guys must be able to hear me now. Bear with me. Equipment problems. Y'all should be able to hear me now. Bear with me. I see what I did wrong. I know people are like, what's going on? Why is it like that? All right, you guys should be able to hear me now, yes?
Whose lives matter? Black lives matter. Whose lives matter? Black lives matter. Whose lives matter?
Okay, got it. Thank you, everybody.
Whose lives matter? Black lives matter. 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 Whose lives matter?
I know, I'm one-handing it right now, everybody. I was trying to see your comments. Ugh, that cable's gonna stay unplugged. I'm glad I stopped when I did, because I wouldn't have seen the issue that you guys couldn't hear. So it seems with this movement, there's been a lot of highs and lows over the last 24 hours. The Officer Jeff Nelson, Auburn, Washington Police Department. Auburn, Washington Police Department has had 5 officer-related shootings that have resulted in death. In the last 9 years, 3 of those have been Officer Jeff Nelson. The city of Auburn, 82,000 people, for those who don't live in the area, just settled with the family of his second shooting.
Left side. This side and that side. No one shooting that way, no one shooting that way.
From $1.25 million, with, of course, the typical government, admission of no fault. Incredibly, he is out on no bond and has his forced court hearing on the 24th. His case has gotten national attention because this is the first case that has been brought to prosecution by Washington I-940. So that is the first case that has been brought up on that. Because prior to that case, and an officer involved shooting, or shooting, or for that matter, an officer involved where an officer in the line of their duty causes a fatality, the way that the law was set up in Washington, you would have to prove malice, which is basically impossible, right? Because in order, malice is something that's in someone's heart. So how do you prove what's in someone's heart? So the police were basically able to act with impunity. That has been changed now in that part of that Washington I-940. It also made other changes. Andre Taylor of Seattle, of not this time, was instrumental in the passing of I-940. Andre Taylor is also not very approving of the direct action protests, and he's been kind of doing the interview rounds in the last 24 hours. On the low side, apparently there was some backroom dealing with the president of the Seattle City Council and Mayor Durkin, who basically vetoed the budget along with the cuts made to the police department. And again, made statements that I have pointed out, Brandy Cruz has pointed out, and a lot of people on the political right have pointed out, and I saw some people on the political left pointing it out. You know, Jenny Durkin is a big fan of talking about systemic failures of systems. It's hers and the city council systems that are failing. But change is not a straight line. And so sometimes you look at what happens in the world and you feel like you've taken 4 steps forward. And then you look to see what happens and it feels like you've taken 3 steps back. And I think that's been kind of the last 24 hours.
This is
Just catching up with the group. So you're gonna get a little trot there. And yes, I know people were asking about Flute Guy on Sunday. Flute Guy does go by they, them, I found out today. So I think we'll go with Flute Person. If you're a Rick and Morty fan, you actually, if you're a Rick and Morty fan, you might then go, wait a minute. I think I know where a part of the name comes from now. And if you're a Rick and Morty fan, you know Bird Person, which is a close friend of Rick Sanchez. So I like Flute Person. So for those of you just tuning in, we are in Seattle. We are live. There are multiple marches and actions going on today in the city. There is the Black Indigenous Coalition March. There is, I believe it's called the Honor the Dead March that's going on. It's either Honor the Dead or Remember the Dead. You'll have to forgive me. That I know was starting at the same time as this. And then there was, what's that?
a morning march fitting. I mean,
Yeah, the EDM crew is at Gasworks, and they're preparing for Olympia tomorrow. And then there was some other march that's escaping me right now. So there's a lot of different things going on.
yeah, 5-0 following.
Oh, is that, is this the man, or?
What's that?
Or do we have a? There was a horrible story that came out of Arizona, which we shared on the Tango yesterday. Police were called about an individual having either a mental health or drug crisis. That individual stole a drink. He was wrestled to the ground, and he was held on the pavement in Phoenix, Arizona for 6 minutes, and he died from his burns. Pending a finding from the coroner, but horrifically burned. And as the police held him down on the ground, wow, he was resisting arrest because he was burning alive. So they just kept holding him on the ground. The other thing today that came up is we found another National Lawyers Guild observer that was
Are we letting the bus through?
harassed by SPD. I use the word harassed generously. An SPD bike officer clearly targeted the advisor and struck her with what appears to be a blunt object, not a baton, but it looks like more than a hand, and struck her hard. You can actually, strikes her so hard you can hear the blow in the video, which is saying a lot because there was a lot of noise going on when that was going on.
Okay, go slow, slow, slow.
I think the bus behind us is going, what about us?
Alright. Everybody ready to move? Do it. Move boys ready! Black lives matter! 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 Move boys ready! Black lives matter!
There is generally when there's more people present, SPD generally behaves better. I'm like saying because I'm just having a hard time picking my words tonight. But when there's more people, SPD generally behaves better. And when there's a small group, they tend to be a lot more aggressive. But right now, as you can see, the Peaches Marshal. The march is peaceful. And there is no presence from SPD.
There was that one tail car we had for a second.
Yeah, just for a second.
Showing they're watching.
So ultimately, you know, on Sunday, what happened? People arrived. All right. Well, I guess this is our destination. So what I'm going to do, I get just navigating around some trees. Oh yeah, Seattle Police Department, North Precinct. So this is where we're at. I have no idea how long this fencing has been here. I'm 10 feet tall. I wear a lot of, I eat a lot of vegetables. So we,
Are you Malcontentment?
I am.
Yeah, I watch your stream a lot.
Oh, okay.
So I come say hello.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for coming over. Appreciate you watching.
Oh yeah. I heard especially what you said about people harassing victims, which doesn't make a whole
What's
lot of
that?
sense because you know, like if police are the only ones who can film.
Oh, you're talking what I wrote yesterday about what happened. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've written a couple of times. I'm an advocate at the end of the day that press and media, as long as press and media is respectful of both sides, I think that press and media should be allowed to cover these. Because as I wrote, you're right then if not, then other people control the narrative. So right now there's literally just some chalk art that's being done here in front of me. If I go like this. And let's see, I'm trying to see if you guys can actually see what I'm seeing. I guess I gotta drop the angle a little bit more. Oh, here, actually, let me do this. So here's just some talk art that's going on. So right now, things are peaceful, and there is no police presence at the time. And again, it's a very, very small group that's here right now. I say a very small group compared to other groups. Yeah, people, I know that a couple of the other feeds are not moderated, but the Facebook feed is moderated, and actionable threats, the mods have a protocol in dealing with actionable threats. So, just don't do it. Look, you can disagree, but, you have no right to kind of literally threaten people.
Once a week, trying to stop shoplifters. You know what they do? They take that fucking elephant and fucking move.
I think what I'll do is I'll probably move up a little closer. Just bear with me here for a moment.
I'm tired of that shit. I want to be able to get the fuck out of my bed and walk out.
I have kind of all of, I know there were some technical difficulties at the start because we just started basically like, whoa, we're moving. Normally they're like, hey, we'll be moving in 5-10 minutes, and there wasn't that. There was just, boom, we're moving. So I was like running and setting up.
So I want to stand here. Oh yeah. I want to stand here and talk for a minute. In honor of all of our fallen comrades. And after that, we're going to let them know that the big old fuck is them. We're tired of their obsession. We're tired of all their bullshit. This is darn sad. They're scared of us. Every single place right now in Seattle is on lockdown. All of them switched over to encrypted calls. They are fucking afraid of us. So, let's have this moment of silence, and we're going to turn the fuck back up.
They're doing a moment of silence right now.
Now, I didn't organize this. Realistically, I just came up here to help organize my shields and get my shields looking right. I left off, that was a little rough. So I want to give somebody else the opportunity to speak. Black and indigenous people first.
So one of the things that I'm doing right now, if the camera's wiggling, I'm not anticipating anything at the moment, but I am going to put on my gloves because my hands got a little burned on Sunday. I can't sit here and say it was from the blast balls, flash bangs, or if it was from fireworks. Those who watched the stream on Sunday know that SPD, despite the fact of being credentialed press and identified as press, SPD threw a blast ball or flashbang grenade right at me that exploded basically right behind my back. I'm not whining about it, I'm just stating facts. But I am going to put on some gloves. Again, there's nothing at this moment right now that makes me think that like right now, the funky scale, it's like on a 1 to 10. This is like a 3. And something that I've explained in other feeds is like, and people that live in Seattle will tell you this, right? Just to give you like a benchmark, if you were walking, say, Pioneer Square at 2 in the morning, just any old 2 in the morning day, no protest, no nothing, the funky scale would be like a 4 or a 5. So when I say things are a 3, it's pretty chill. Like a 1 is you're asleep in bed. So things are pretty chill right now.
Now, do we need cops? No! They should
It was just on Twitter.
Where are they at?
I think that.
Quit your job! 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 Alright, no cops, no prisons, and no cops! No cops! Total abolition! No cops! No prisons! 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 Total abolition! Quit your job! 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 Quit your job!
A couple of things here. Kevin, I'll get to yours. Eric, this is not ENDD. This is a different group. This is not ENDD. Dave, I appreciate the offer. I don't want to appreciate. I don't want to. I know it's like a T-shirt. It's a cool offer, and it's just a T-shirt. But I don't want to. I don't want to profit off of black misery, I guess is what it just boils down to. I'm going to back up a little bit only because you can't see the, I'm a little too close, so you really can't see the group. So there are more people than what you see here. There's some people that are behind me that are just kind of eyes on there. Thank you, Eric. So, Kevin, you asked the question, what's your solution for those who want no cops? I don't have the answer to that because my position on this is very public, and my position is I prefer to call things demilitarize the police and unburden the police. But I have stated multiple times that I do think that there is a place for law enforcement to operate in very certain situations. The problem is in this country, we've criminalized stupidity. We've kind of criminalized everything. And I know people are like, oh no, that's not true yet. We have the largest prison population in the world, both by per capita and in total numbers. And we are nowhere near the most populated country in the United States. I heard a stat that I don't know now at this point if it's true. This was a stat that was back when the crime rate was like in the early 90s, when it was probably about at the peak here in the United States, like around 91, 92, 93. And at that rate, 1 in 4 Americans would spend at least be put in handcuffs. Now, a lot of people were like, okay, so handcuffs then means arrested, charged, found guilty, going to jail. That's not true. Lots of people get put into handcuffs, and then 4, 8, 12, 20 hours later, in processing, they're cut loose and they're never charged. I don't know the veracity of that stat anymore, and it's something probably worth digging into, because the reality is that our crime rates in the United States have been dropping up until 2020. And I think it's very easy just to go, oh, well, you see, it's because of all these protests. It's why the crime rate's up. Jenny Durkin today said that between June 1 and yesterday, Seattle Police Department has had 116 shooting calls. 116. Now, so that is 116 shot fires called into Seattle Police Department. Remember, 5 of those were in shop. 116, 5. 5 were in chop. So you can't sit here and go, well, it's chop's fault. So then if you're so smart, Malcontent, why is the crime rate going up so much higher? Because one, we're in a massive recession and you have tens of million people out of work. And historically, crime rates always go up in a recession because people get desperate. And I think the second thing that you have is that a lot of the things that people would do to kind of numb their minds, go to the movies, sit in a bar, go to a baseball game, football game, basketball game, or watch a game. All of that stuff is kind of offline. I'm a huge baseball fan. I can't watch it. I've tried to watch it. I got through like 2 innings and I'm like, with the cardboard cutouts and the piped in sound, it was like, this is just weird. And I just couldn't do it. And so, anyway, you have people that are miserable and they have nothing to distract them from being miserable. And so you get increased crime. And that's just human nature. Then you have the kids that are, you know, I see memes and I see jokes from parents, you know, it's like my kids are a week away from being feral because of school closures and there's no after school programs and just all of that comes together. Take away opportunity, take away hope, this is what you end up with. And there's a lot of complicated reasons on why it's happening. And it's not just C disease. The top 12 richest Americans, 12, I think they're all men. I don't think there's a single woman around in that group. I think it's 12 men in the United States control over $1 trillion in wealth. 12 people, $1 trillion in wealth. And our founding fathers, although this nation was set up to be for the benefit of wealthy landholders, our founding fathers, they didn't want that kind of control in the hands of so few.
SPD has just labeled the Black and Indigenous Coalition March as a riot. So EDM is going to go and stand in solidarity with that coalition because they have supported us a lot. If you guys would like to come with us, we're going back to the park so we can get to all of our vehicles or whatever you need to get to.
I'm really stunned by this announcement.
Virginia and Western Ave.
I'm really stunned because the Black Indigenous Coalition March they're so chill. And they just said that Seattle Police has just declared Black Indigenous March a riot.
SDOT is also tracking protests now, so be aware of that.
That is really stunning to me because that is a really chill group. So I think there's some so let me get a chance to look at your comments. I'm not going to start trotting by myself.
Over their car. Can I get it? That's in North Carolina. This one, that's Black Indigenous Coalition.
Can anybody confirm for me on the feed that things have gotten spicy for the Black Indigenous March?
They called it a riot over a scandal. Huh? I know, but we're trying to figure out if it's actually a riot or not.
I got people on my feed saying that somebody broke a window down there and they've declared it a riot.
They are declaring it a riot?
Yeah, I heard glass, yeah. So is that what's happening? Because, you know, I got people here looking at me malcontents.
Yes,
is that what's happened?
We're going to pull out, okay.
Wait a minute, now someone is saying Black Indigenous March is fine. It's peaceful on the feed I'm watching.
That's what I'm saying. It's peaceful on the feed that I'm watching too, but if somebody broke the window.
Right in here.
Virginia and give me a second.
Because there was another march that was just declared a riot.
Like some people.
See, it's Virginia and Western.
Yeah. Downtown or was that
Downtown, like they went to Pike's Place today. Okay. If you guys are vets.
There's a ton of people saying it's peaceful there.
Yeah.
Just like, have a job.
We don't need
It's one thing that was said on the scanner. Okay.
I got person after person saying they're just standing and talking and it's peaceful there. person after person in the comments. So they said someone broke a window, but it's all chill now. That's what they're saying.
Is something really common. They'll throw some bullshit out.
Broke a window, and then SPD was reacting. So should we still stick around here or head that way?
Keep whoever's on the scanner should keep listening on the scanner. See if
It's too far away. I mean,
the thing you got to listen for is if they're going to be switching over to tac 2 or tac 3.
go over to the. And also that march usually disperses.
Who is that? Is that the Black and Indigenous March?
Yeah. It's really, I mean, okay, I can't say it's really up to the group because this isn't my group. If it were EDD only, I would say it's really up to the group. Yeah, we would just talk about it.
Do you want to try doing that with this, like the same, like come around?
I'm not taking control on this group.
I don't even know.
So what I'm going to do, again, as you can hear, like there's people there. They're not, all of these are kind of loosely organized and loose coalitions. I just want to move away from the conversation. So, and we'll go ahead and we're going to, nobody's left. I think there's just kind of a, there's a decision-making process of what's going on. So if you guys are just tuning in, we're here in Seattle. It's no secret at this point that we're at the North Precinct Police Station. And there is some decision making going on right now on whether to march or not. And I'm just trying to find out what's going on. This is where I wish my other software worked really well, because I could have played my fun little technical difficulties video right now, but I can't do this with this software I has. All right, here, so 1 second. Oh, there's nothing more horrible than sneezing inside of a mask. Seriously. It's just horrible. All right, I got the story. I'm gonna communicate it to the group just because I got the story. So hey,
But that's just how I see it.
I'm streaming right now, but I've got the intel on it. So an unhomed person. Yeah. So an unhomed person threw a rock through a window, not related to anything that's going on with BIC, Black Indigenous Coalition. It's all chill down there. And I got that from trusted people. It's chill down at It's all good down there.
Not right.
Yeah, it's all good down there. I just trusted source.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know shit.
I literally don't see shit or know shit because I just walked up here and turned the camera this way, so I really have no idea what's going on. I still think at the end of the day there's kind of a decision going on whether to head into Seattle or whether to continue to stay here at the North Precinct.
Exactly.
And I think that's just where we're at the moment. Yeah, a couple of streamers are yakking. Nobody's really left at this point, you know, and I'm just relocating position. It's okay, the camera will turn around here in a second and you'll be able to see what's going on. There you go. There continues to be maybe, you can't see everybody in frame. There's a few people behind and to my left. But I would estimate that there's maybe 30 or 40 people that are here. And then there's a few more people probably also out of frame. If you kind of look like on the far center far, there's some people probably on the other side of the fence you can't see very well. So there's about 30, 40 people here. There's a ton of chalk art. There's little paint action. Again, right now, I just think that there's a decision-making process that's going on. Sinead, why are you hanging out with 30 to 40 losers? Why would you want to do that to yourself? You should go hang out with other people. Yeah, exactly, Eric. And a good example of that is what happened on Sunday. You know, we have this on video. And I could say that I've had conversations on SPD's behavior. You know, they made a dispersed declaration, and they made it in that dispersed declaration, regardless of your purpose, which actually goes against the court order for legal observers, credentialed press, and medics. And so they went against that. There wasn't a riot declaration until 10:58 p.m. However, SPD never announced a riot declaration to the protesters. They called it an unlawful assembly. We also have that on audio. And then after that announcement, it was basically DJ Elrad and his really bad techno music because it was hotter than hell that night too. You know, hot yoga night with DJ Elrad and his horrible techno music in the Tabasco factory. And basically for about the last 20 minutes, you couldn't hear yourself think. I described it as like when the grandkid is over and they're playing, we have fire truck they play with, and it's like that, only there's like 20 fire trucks going off at the same time. What's funny in the feed on Sunday, there are people on there people that have kids or whatever. That was their comments too. It's like, oh, it sounds like one of my kids playing a toy. Just a lot louder. And I really appreciate you checking on me. I do. I always really, really appreciate when people check on me. And I always like to say I'm a big boy. I know why I'm here, and I know what I've signed up for. And I always like to put a shout out to Dr. and Mrs. Malcontent, because I know that she worries, and we have agreements, and I really appreciate her letting me come out and cover what is going on here. Oh, it wasn't LRAD. We just call it DJ LRAD. I know I concluded at the end of the day that it was poor man's LRAD, but boy, it was effective. I just like, yeah, that's exactly it. DJ LRAD Police Parade. I love it.
Ladies and gentlemen and other human beings who don't identify with those two genders, we're about to go back to the other table and fuck with the officers who are actually just standing there. We're going to make them actually work for their money instead of being incompetent idiots who just stand around all day. So, if you're with me, can I get a hell yeah? Hell yeah! That sounds fucking amazing. Let's do it.
I'm not aware of anybody that died on Sunday. I don't know where you're even getting that story. Like, I've got a medic standing here right next to me going, nobody died on Sunday. And I don't even understand what this story is in the comments. Maybe I'm taking it out of context. There are some SPD officers that I think are, I don't know, candidly, I don't know compass directions here. I guess I should know compass directions wherever I'm at, right? Because if DJ LRAD and his all-night band and light show shows up with the pyrotechnics, and they say, hey, you need to evacuate south or whatever, it would be good to know which way south. It's funny because I hear streamers in Portland the same thing, right? They're like, hey, proceed down west on this road, and I'll hear streamers that I'm watching there like, which way is west? Of course, what happened on Sunday where they were evacuate south, but they were blocking south, and then it was like, no, evacuate north. You know, and there were some people trying to move south and some people trying to move north. Sunday was just not. The thing about Sunday is it went from like 0 to 100 in like a second. And I've been I've been doing this since May 30th. And I've seen other situations where it's like, okay, you can see it coming, or, you know, like it goes 0 to 60. This just was like, just off the chain. So I'm actually just gonna, I'm just moving so you can get a better view. But there is a complete blackberry encrusted median here. If you're not from the Pacific Northwest, I have said on more than one occasion that one of the jokes I had during the Iraqi war or Afghanistan is that all they needed to do was carpet bomb Afghanistan and Iraq with clippings of Himalayan blackberry. And in about 30 or 45 days, those countries would have been totally pacified. Because nobody would be able to get out of their house at that point. And no one would starve because they would have an unbelievable number of tasty berries right outside their doors. And they would be like, damn it, we can't move. Nothing kills this stuff. It's really hard to get rid of the blackberry. So anyway, I can't walk in that median. So I just got on the other side. Oh, wow. If I didn't have a mask on, I would be eating blackberries right now. And I just found a little spot where it's ivy. Nice. All right, so I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to send you up further. Bear with me for a minute. You're looking at the pavement because I'm going to send the camera up further.
not paying enough for this shit.
You all now have a big advantage over me because I'm seeing things at eye level.
No good cops in a racist system. No bad protesters in a revolution. No good cops in a racist
No, it's not. It's actually a pretty nice night. It's certainly a lot better than Sunday when it was like in the hot box. That's for sure.
No good cops in a racist system. No bad protesters in a revolution.
Those of you just tuning in, you're on Malcontentment Tango. I am the Malcontent. We are in Seattle. We are live. This is not ENDD. If you don't know what ENDD is, don't worry about it. If you're someone in the comments can explain the difference between all the groups. This is not ENDD. There really isn't the DA group anymore because DA has kind of become ENDD. This isn't EDM and this isn't BIPOC. This is a different group.
What do we want? And when do we want
And
it?
things right now are
What do we want?
noisy and peaceful.
When do we want it? Fuck who? Fuck who? Fuck who? Fuck who? They're swinging in their boots, guys. Look at this big fuck on the right. Of course they brought out the one black officer they have at this fucking precinct. You're fucking Uncle Sal. You're committing foul foolery, my nigga. Quit your fucking job. Quit your fucking job. You're about to lose your job.
Thank you for the update. I know people here made the decision, and I appreciate all the malcontents providing the information. You know, obviously, if there was a riot going on down there, getting down there with poll cam and documenting what's going on with you know, with SPD would be more critical than you know, it's not that this isn't important. It's just on Sunday we caught a lot of bad action on camera, and you know, both sides need to be held accountable. And this is why I would say you should be watching streams, because you want to be told what to think. Watch MSNBC or watch Fox News. They'll show you just the little tiny clips and they'll tell you what to think. You want to see the before, the during, the after, and then make your decision based on everything you see. Watch the stream. And the people that watch the streams all the way through, I love you guys. And the people that, and ladies and theys, the people that come in and they're just there for the protest porn, I can always tell when I'm on a feed if people are just there for the protest porn, because when things are chill like this, everyone starts dropping off because it's like, oh, there's nothing going on. But this is part of the story. What you're seeing here is peaceful protest.
Do you share, like, when, is this like on live or like,
Yeah.
something like that? So do you share the clips in their entirety for watching later afterwards every time?
Well, yeah, because it's just up there when it's up there.
Because that
So
way people can watch the whole thing if they need, or people that just want to watch highlights can watch the highlights. that
yeah,
people make.
exactly. They could just fast forward and go
For
through.
that footage to be out there.
Yeah, because
so that the narrative isn't being manipulated.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. And we saw with the Spog video that came out, right? They're just showing these little Seattle Police Officers Guild. They came out
Is
with
that
this.
like the name of the union?
Yeah.
Or, okay,
Yeah.
That's one of my biggest things, is the union needs to be abolished.
Well,
Seriously, like, are the biggest gang in the city. They all have guns. Like,
Yep.
they all have uniforms that they are like supposed to wear, and like they wear them off duty when they do security and shit like that. It happened to me before when I was deemed a threat to myself. Like,
Right.
They use the mental health system against people. So like.
Well, we don't have a mental health
So they
system.
don't just have that. They have that and the criminal system. Like, they need to lose some of those fucking like privileges, and like they don't have to like lose anything by losing the union, because they all like should feel like individuals, not like part of like a group, because they obviously are part of it. Everyone knows.
Right.
So they don't need a union. Like, they shouldn't feel like every cop will stand behind them just because they look
Right.
I also think we have to recognize when they do good changes, because otherwise, like, people will be like, well, nobody's beyond redemption, and they need a way out.
Right.
Quitting their jobs is one, because then they can't get unemployment, and that would show something, and they should have enough saved away. Assuming, I mean, if it's not like some rookie, obviously.
Yeah. Well,
Obviously, like,
look at all the
never,
overtime
like,
they haul in.
statements, you know?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
do what is like most of like 99%. Shit. Anyway, are you like third-party press? Or
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
cool.
I'm on Malcontentment Tango, so there you go.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Looking forward to it. I never post my Venmo because I have a sort of a unique role I've made for myself. Like, I have a lot of support.
Yep.
I've
Yep.
been on unemployment, and now that they cut to 600, I'm like, shit.
Well, they're bringing the 300 back, but there's a ton of
Wait, they
confusion.
are? Okay, I wasn't
That's
sure.
official. They're
just
bringing in
gonna cite
they're
one
bringing
for
in
12 days,
300, and it is retroactive to August 1. But there's a ton of confusion on if it's only like for 3 weeks.
It's retroactive. Does that mean if you already filed, you still get it?
As long as you've been doing your weekly, yeah.
I haven't, but since I ran out of regular and just.
Oh God, yeah, because you okay.
I wasn't sure, like I was in the cycle with no access to my devices, right? So I
Right.
couldn't do it. And I just have been hesitant, like because I thought maybe they would make it so if you hadn't filed, you would get it or something. And I'm blessed to have support, so
Yeah.
that's what it should be. Is like we support each other mutually. You're doing a great job.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Thanks, man, I appreciate it.
I don't have my credit card. I just have like my ID.
No, it's fine.
As you can see, they're currently sitting there, twiddling their thumbs like they always do.
Well, I don't,
This is my old canceled debit card. It does nothing. If you want it.
no, that's okay. That's okay.
Not a new language. Because I do like this.
They aren't shit like you guys. Hey, how many of you guys have cases?
Well, that's exactly it, Kimber. That's kind of what I was talking about, right? The Seattle Police Officers Guild made like essentially a campaign ad. It's not even a our
That
videos.
nigga looks like he gets off to beating the shit out of people for no reason. I made that nigga laugh! I made that nigga laugh! Justice Boner! Justice Boner!
Again, one of the things I'll tell you, you have an advantage over me because camera's on a pole, so I'm not seeing exactly what you see. So if you're kind of like, hey, turn it there, turn it that, or why did you move from that? When the pole's up this high, remember I'm at eye level, and the pole is probably probably about 16 feet right now. I have procrastinated all week.
Fuck Donald Trump!
Take one step forward, stay on the sidewalk.
So again, for those of you just tuning in, we are live. We are in Seattle. This is the Malcontentment Tango. I am the Malcontent. We are at the North Precinct. This is a small group of 30 or 40 people. They are noisy, but things have been peaceful. You probably don't see everybody that's here. There's a few people that are behind me. There's a few people to the left of me. There's a few people to the right of me. There's I don't want to say like the bike brigade is here, but there are some people with bikes and cars. So you don't quite see everybody that's here. But you do probably see about that core 30 or 40 people. It's not raining here. The umbrellas are a tool to provide privacy for the protesters. It's a technique that protesters in Hong Kong were using that has been adopted by protesters in the United States going back to May. It's actually a really nice night here. It is certainly way nicer than Sunday when it was like hot yoga night.
I know you guys want to quit your jobs really bad right now.
Mods are on.
Are y'all the guys that are making $100K a year off of beating the shit out of people?
I've seen posts from the mods and stuff. Currently outnumbered.
You know how much I make a year beating the shit out of people?
We're at the North Precinct.
$0.0 because I don't do that shit.
I don't think anybody else is coming here, Patrick. And, you know, I'll say it again. If you're here for the protest porn, you're either going to wait a really long time or you're going to be disappointed. On the funky scale of 1 to 10, and I said this earlier, I'd put this right now at a 3. And 1 is asleep in bed, and I would have put Sunday at like an 8. Of what I've heard of what happened, I was not here for July 25th, but it sounds like July 25th was about as close to a 10 as you're going to get. And I would say that June 6th and June 7th were like 9s or 10s, especially the 7th. And May 30th. May 30th was definite. May 30th was a 10. May 30th, there's your 10 in Seattle. It was May 30. And again, maybe the 6th and 7th and the 25th. Right now, this is a 3. And again, to benchmark it, say you're down to Pioneer Square. Pioneer Square is close to where the stadiums are. It's 2 in the morning. There's no protest going on. It's just a random 2 in the morning. And you're walking through Pioneer Square by yourself.
CO, I'm fucking your wife too, just so you know. I don't know if you caught that one.
I would say it's a 4. Like the funky factor is a 4. And people who live in Seattle in the comments can explain to you why that funky factor is a 4. And it's always been a 4. I you know, as a matter of fact, I would say that the funky factor was higher than a 4 just maybe 12 months ago. Last year, I had a client company and I was going to New York City on business about every 6 to 8 weeks, and I would jog at night in Manhattan. And I asked the client, I was like, you know, hey, is there anywhere I shouldn't be jogging here in Manhattan? And they just like looked at me like I had 12 heads, and they're like, in Manhattan? I'm like, yeah. They're like, no, you can jog anywhere you want, anytime you want. Last year, there is no way I would have jogged after dark through Pioneer Square. No flipping way. So when I say the funky factor is a 3, it means I think it's pretty chill. I actually would walk down and try to talk to SPD. The problem is I think some of the protesters would follow me down. And I think that would just then create a really tense situation. But things are it's just super calm. And the police are there, but you know, there seems to be just some mutual jawing going back and forth, but almost not like in a negative sense. Neither side is escalating, that is for sure. Both sides are very, very calm, and there is no escalation going on whatsoever.
Out of the line, beat their wives. Second from the left with the baton in his hand definitely beats his wife on the regular. And then the gas officer in the back who just looked over at us after I said gas.
Well, Patrick, I think the movement has already done things. I was saying, or I don't know if you came on because I know the streams have been going for a little while now. Officer Jeff Nelson in Auburn has been charged with second-degree murder for the shooting death of Jesse Sari. It's a terrible story. What King County's prosecutor attorney Dan Sandberg said, they had referenced out the body cam video from Officer Nelson to multiple states' attorneys to get their legal opinion. What King County is saying is that everyone who saw that video said it was a totally unjustified killing on Officer Nelson's part. Would Officer Nelson have been charged with murder 6 months ago, even with the passage of I-940? I say no. I say absolutely no. Austin defunded their police department 33%. And the funny thing is that you barely hear anything about Austin defunding their police department 33% because it was not done in a confrontational way between the people seeking defunding the police department and city leadership. It was done in a collaborative way. I mean, look, if I could go walk down, and again, honestly, I would go down and talk to those guys. But my bigger thing, and I think some protesters would just simply walk down because, oh, he's walking down, let us go walk down. And then I don't want to unintentionally be that spark that turns this into something that it's not. I've talked to people in law enforcement, and most people in law enforcement don't want to be social workers. They don't want to be mental health counselors. They don't want to be drug counselors. They don't want to be alcoholism counselors. They don't want to be dealing with not even domestic violence, but, you know, a couple arguing just over something BS and they decided to call the police and there's like literally nothing actionable and it's just two people having a bad night. They don't want to deal with any of this stuff. Some of them do, but most of them don't. I mean, law enforcement is not a glamorous job, a sexy job. It's a pretty thankless job. A lot of public servants jobs are pretty thankless. Firefighter job is pretty thankless. I mean, yeah, everyone loves a firefighter. I have several friends from high school who went on to have careers in the fire department. You know, they're all kind of rolling on their 25 odd years, and a couple of them have retired because they've got their pension and stuff and they're out. But you know what the cost was? Their bodies are destroyed. Their bodies are friggin' destroyed. All of them have so many health problems. Their joints are destroyed. Their lungs are screwed up. You know, so you know, great. You're in your late 40s and you're retired, but your body's destroyed. So what's the value in that, right? There's a lot of thankless jobs. Teachers have a thankless job. It's a thankless, hard job. And there's a lot of things that officers just don't want to do that are in their job description that quite frankly shouldn't be in their flipping job description.
Quit your job. 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 Quit your job.
But for right now, again, things are pretty peaceful. Hey AJ, we're in Seattle. Boy, this is Seattle. I guess it does kind of look Portland, right? Because I know Portland really isn't downtown anymore, and they're going into more where these, you know, more into where the different facilities are that are in. So I can actually understand some people just tuning in, maybe their confusion if this is Portland or Seattle. Whoa, slow down one sec. Okay, they slowed down.
Are you guys getting tired yet? Is your disorder going away? Are you guys getting soft enough?
I really want to go down there and talk to them.
You're upset you came
Yo, that's really wicked.
We're more likely to die on your jobs than you guys. That's what I do.
Passing on your left.
And less likely to kill people too!
Well, I'll tell you what, as a food delivery worker, I've always made it to the right address. I never did a no-knock raid on the wrong address, like when you fucking murdered Breonna Taylor!
You niggas smell like shit.
You can stop trying to call your wife, CEO. She's getting fucked by all of us. Can we have all of your wives' phone numbers just for
All of you
reference?
guys are cussed. I hope you know that.
Free their wives! Free their wives!
I always tell other streamers don't get between the lines, so other streamers don't follow my bad example right now because I am between the lines. Things are pretty chill though. I'm gonna cross the line. Crossing the line, crossing the line, crossing the line, crossing the line, crossing the line. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, what's up? My battery's just about dead, so I have to kill my phone.
Are you on Android or Apple?
I'm on Apple.
Shoot, I don't have an Apple cord. Yeah, I got the charger I could give you, but I don't have the. Do you have an Apple cord?
Let me see if I got the cord on me. I might not.
Talking to another streamer.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh no, I'm letting them know on the stream. The people are just playing.
Okay.
All right, actually, you guys got a good frame there. I'm like looking. I'm just making sure that you're not looking at a tree.
No, I don't have my USB lightning charger.
Okay, sorry, man, because I would say I could hook you up. I got a battery.
No, it's all good. It's my bad. I should have charged up more, but
If you could find someone with the cable, then just come back. I can set you up.
for sure.
All right.
Grandpa, yeah?
Yeah.
Climber.
Got it, climber. Yes, I was just called Grandpa. It's a long story.
We do not want you! We do not want you! We do not like you! We do not want you! We're safer without you! We'll protect our own! Wake the fuck up! And then, when you look around and you can assess your coworkers, you know who you should shoulder and say, maybe we should get the fuck out of here! And you know the ones who are actually there to fuck people up! You know which ones are there, and you know who you are.
Here, one sec.
Get the fuck out while you can.
Wow. I don't know what just beeped by me. It sure sounded like a watch. Just sounded like a watch alarm beep. Oh, shoot. Ha! Well, that's just the craziest thing. That was actually my Fitbit that was beeping. It was at 45% battery when I left, and now it's dead. So I won't know what my steps or anything is.
The trail of blood does not stop. It goes all the way. Get the fuck out while you can. You are on the wrong side of history. You have to throw up the propaganda that you ever rented the police for good. Because the police are only meant to keep the people down. Get the fuck out of there. You're a tool. You're a total fucking tool.
For those of you just tuning in, we are in Seattle. We are in the north part of Seattle. There's a small group of about maybe 30 or 40 activists that are behind me. It is right now it's very peaceful. Neither side is escalating. There's just some yelling and some noise making behind me. SPD officers have had like a couple little comments, but nothing. I keep saying on a funky scale of 1 to 10, it's like a 3. I'm between the lines, and I was just like, yeah, don't follow my bad example, other streamers. I was actually thinking about walking up, but I do see there's a no trespassing sign, maybe about 5 feet in front of me. I would really like to talk to, this is like this rare opportunity right now because there's a really small group and things are calm and things are very divided and there's a fence. Unfortunately, SPD has not behaved in a way, even if you're identified credential press, that gives me a whole lot of confidence that if I were to walk up, that I would get kind of any like, hey, stop walking up. So I don't know if you heard that thing, small finding a place to pee with all this. This is a big challenge.
Take a picture of him with the flash. Get out! Get out!
There isn't a whole lot to show, Sam. There's 4 police officers just kind of standing there. All right, so again, I'm gonna cross the line. I'm crossing the line, crossing the line, crossing the line, crossing the line.
We're really gonna try and let him through.
It looks like we're kind of moving into our first little escalation here. Don't know.
There's another option. Your windshield. Come on through, bitch.
You know what I don't know. I don't know if they're actually planning to go through the gate or simply if they turned on headlights to obscure the vision of the activists. That can be a tactic also, that they just turn on their headlights to obscure the vision. And that's kind of what it looks like and feels like. Again, you're at a little bit of an advantage with me. Actually, you're at a really big advantage now because the pole cam is probably over their lights, and the lights are basically right in my face. And I probably moved so you can see more than a tree.
Gonna be facing this way.
Thank you. I appreciate the appreciation.
We're gonna put the shield line on our ass just in case they try to rush out. It slows them down.
Unfortunately, this isn't really not where I want to be, but I'm going to bring you the story because you guys were just guys, ladies, and theys. All you were seeing is a tree. So this is probably giving you at this point a much better view where I've moved to.
Original March, could you please come to me?
I don't see him.
And again, I don't necessarily think that they're planning to exit out of here. I think the lights are just on to make it harder for the activists to see what's going on. Oh my goodness.
Umbrellas on the side.
Umbrellas on the side.
So, no one's asking for a knife or anything nefarious. I just want to clarify that because you know you're not seeing what's going on.
Yeah, we got that.
So, all right, they've moved back. I'm going to move back so you just can see what's going on.
in that direction. Bike brigade. We're heading in the opposite direction.
If you guys are just tuning in, we're in Seattle. This is not Portland. I realize it probably looks like Portland in the video, but we are in Seattle. No, this is not ENDD. This is not ENDD.
I'm still fucking all of your wives, just so you know.
And again, it just looks to me, I'm just going to pause here. It just looks to me like they've just turned on the lights to basically, you know, obscure the vision of the protesters. I see that I'm getting one of the side lights. Like, again, your view is different because the pole is up so high, but I basically got a face full of spotlight when I was there. Right now, I'll keep the camera going this way. If SPD starts to follow the group, I will turn the camera around. But yeah, this is not ENDD. DA really doesn't, DA and kind of ENDD are basically the same thing. This is not EDM. This is a different group. But right now, again, funky scale on a 1 to 10 is like a 3. Things are very chill. It's a very, very peaceful. You know, there's just some chanting, some jawing, and some noise making. That's about it. And Flute Person is here. People were asking me on Sunday in the feed, like, the people were saying Flute Man. I did learn today that Flute Person goes by they, them. So I'm calling them Flute Person. And also, like, Flute Person just sounds cool to me. Anyway, Flute Person, if you watch the feed on Sunday, you probably heard that flute playing almost step for step all the way back until DJ Elrad and his all-night band showed up.
Everybody up front without a shield hold. Let our shields get through.
So, yeah, they were fine on Sunday. They basically were just about step for step with me almost all the way back. It was coincidental.
Attention SPD. This is Black Bloc, and we are fucking your partners. Thank you.
You have been declared an unlawful
There you go.
assembly.
There's Flute Person. We'll move closer to Flute Person.
Shields, let's start moving.
If Dr. and Mrs. Malcontent is watching, she's probably familiar with this too. She may even be singing it at her desk right now. They're definitely walking back at a much faster pace. No, we do not have the Auto Club behind us. SPD did. So far, it appears SPD has not engaged at all. Nope.
Yo, this is not safe. Oh god.
I've been looking.
So bad when they follow us. Oh, wait. Them having to run up a damn hill? What? Them having to run up a damn hill? Them having to run up a hill?
Some of the activists are concerned, looking to see if SPD is going to follow. My gut is no. I think they are really taking an approach of just no engagement. And if that's how it goes down, I'll have some commentary. Oh, there's a nice breeze blowing. So, if you see like the camera bobbing and weaving, I haven't dropped it down and there's power lines here. So I'm really paying attention to what's above me.
Could not have said it better myself.
It's not as bad as Cap Hill.
That's the only lyric that I know because he goes, let's chow, chow, chow. Look it up. It is. Yeah, it's like, it's like, something, it's like anti, everything that they play is specifically anti-police.
If you're just tuning in, we're in Seattle. We've been at the North Precinct Police Station a couple of hours for what would be called a peaceful protest.
Can I ask you what live stream you're with?
Malcontentment Tango. Yeah, you can grab a card. You can grab a card right. Yeah, no, yeah, we can bump elbows, of course.
No, you're good.
Okay. Thank you for watching.
You do good coverage. You keep very neutral. You like have good angles.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, right now, if you're, I don't know if both are on SPN, but if both Q and I are on SPN right now, you got high angle and low angle of the same shot. You got like video game view right now. Anyway, we're basically heading back to where we started. I would say at this point, I would be beyond stunned if SPD showed up at this point, because basically we're back to where we started. Because I just don't see SPD stirring the pot in a residential neighborhood when a peaceful march is over and concluding. It wouldn't make sense. Of course, they have done some things that don't make sense. But if we kind of get back to the finish line here, I'm definitely going to have some commentary.
Tango, you know where we're headed?
No idea.
Okay.
Plausible deniability. Oh, we're just going back. That's what I thought. Yeah. We're done. I think we're just going back.
Yes, we're done.
That was the impression I was under. By the way, longtime malcontents who've watched a bunch of the streams, I heard no Rage Against the Machine today. So there you go.
Usually white.
If you're new to the stream, it seems as though whenever Rage Against the Machine plays in any capacity, the funky scale goes crazy. And you know, what a shock. No Rage. You know, this was a direct action group and things were completely peaceful. When I say direct action, they're not the DA group. There really is no more DA group. And this isn't ENDD either. It's a different group. And I really couldn't tell you, honestly, I really couldn't tell you who they are. And again, if the pole bobs and weaves a little bit, or if it seems a little wobbly, it's because I'm watching for power lines. That's just somebody banging on the sign. Basically, if you watch the whole stream, you know that we're basically to the finish line. Somebody's just banging on some signs as we're walking by behind me, making noise.
That's long live the resistance of Seattle and Curtis from Yovng. Yeah.
Wow. All right, I just learned some Kurdish tonight. All right, folks. Here, 1 second. I'm going to drop the pole down now. Let me just drop the pole. I'm going to drop the pole. What's that? I'm going to keep rolling for a little bit because I got some things to say. Hey there, malcontents. How you doing? It's very dark here, so there's not like I'm not trying. I am your overlord. This is secret films from behind enemy lines. No, that's not what this is. As a matter of fact, let me take this off. This wasn't needed. So, I'm going to tell you what my view is on this. You had 30, 40 people. They were ready. They certainly were ready for direct action. SPD didn't engage with them at all, and nothing happened. Isn't that amazing? It's not amazing to me because we saw this happen in Portland. If you tighten your grip, more things fall through your fingers. If you hold a light grip, I'm not saying you gotta let go, but you just hold a light grip, right? You can hold a lot more. If I pan out my hands, I could pick up a basketball. But if I go like that, I could barely pick up a golf ball, right? And then you just get into this whole thing of like, well, who pushed first? Who did what first? And it just becomes semantics, right? If we go back to Sunday, well, SPD drove a police cruiser very aggressively right at the line of protesters. If you go back and watch not my video, the video of the of another person that was right there in it, it's a terrifying video, right? If anybody, take away the whole thing. If you're just walking the parking lot and somebody drove at you like that, you're not going to be like, hey, that was totally cool. You're going to be pissed or scared or both. Then there was a fireworks set off. And at the time, I was just, hey, fire, you know, I didn't know that it was set off under police. The video's undeniable. It was set up under a police cruiser. So then you had that escalation. Then they pepper sprayed, and they didn't pepper spray like the 2 people out of the 200. I know SPD said it was 100. There's way more than 100 people there. You can go back and look at the video. It's probably closer to 200. So you had 2 people. Because remember, the people that support the police, it's just a couple of bad apples. So you had 2 people who were bad apples. Put a firework, not even a commercial firework, a regular firework under a police cruiser, and didn't do anything. At the end of the day, I mean, it went boom, but didn't set anything on fire. Then they pepper sprayed a whole bunch of groups, and that's the next escalation. And then another firework is thrown, and then of what I counted, it was like almost 6 instantaneous blast balls and clouds of pepper spray. And then all bets were off. That's why I say 0 to 100. Now I'm talking about Sunday. What happened just here? The police didn't respond. They yelled at the police, and the police didn't respond. They did some chalk art. Yeah, there's a little spray painting going on. Spray painting on the pavement. Pity the pavement. I mean, come, look, you know, I know. It's going to be pouring rain here in Seattle in about another 45-ish days. It's just going to go away on its own. So there's a little spray painting on the pavement, and a lot of chalk art, and that's it. Because there was no escalation. I think that both sides tonight can call this a W. Both sides. Because both sides didn't engage. This was, by all definition, a peaceful protest. So if you were here to watch protest porn, I'm happy you're disappointed. I'm really happy you're disappointed. Because I'm not disappointed. I don't like being in the shit. Yeah, give me about 5-10 more of these. I might cut down on some of the gear I'm carrying around. So I'm going to wrap it up because they're wrapping up here, and I may go somewhere else. I'm almost positive I'm going to go home, and I'm probably going to call it a night. Going to broadcast tomorrow. We're going to Olympia. We're doing the March on Jay Inslee's mansion. There should be bipartisan support for that. Jay isn't a super popular guy in the state of Washington, the big scheme of things. It's just the other party gave us basically a batshit crazy closet Nazi to run against Jay Inslee, who doesn't feel like enforcing the law. So thank you, Washington State, for giving us great choices. Thanks. I mean, Culp is woo. So anyway, and he doesn't have prayer. And I'm pretty sure the Republican Party knows he doesn't have prayer. And I'm pretty sure most people, even if they're pretty conservative, know he doesn't have prayer. So, and that's got nothing to do with King County or whatever. Anyway. Malcontent,